So let's take a couple audience questions here. So we had a couple good ones. Colin McCormick, shout out Colin. I think this is the first time I've seen you in the live show. So thanks for joining us. He says, what do you think about investing in Tyler Herro? So Tyler Herro is a guy that I had as high as the top 20 in like April and May. I think March, April, May, because looking at his prices, even though he's like way overproduced and already had like a huge spike in like 2020 and early 2021, and then a huge dip based on his 2021 performance and pop count, basically. He was a good value buy, knowing that if he were to break out in the playoffs, we know what happens. Now, that didn't happen. So he ended up not really being a great that probably wouldn't have panned out for you if you would have bought Tyler Herro. But for those reasons, he was up in our rankings at that time. We've since moved him down considerably just because it kind of the DeAndre Hunter syndrome, really, like just not consistent yet, and not the number one option on his contending team. But where do you see Tyler Herro as an investment, Gary?
One of the thoughts, then, thanks for asking, too. One of the thoughts with that, at least my own perspective on Tyler Herro is, with any investment, there's enough NBA players to invest in guys that you like and guys that you enjoy watching. And so I got to admit, part of my distance from Tyler Herro is that I just haven't watched him play a lot. And when I have, I've often been rooting for the other team. So I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Tyler Herro, but I will say this spoke to me in the finals. He was on the bench a lot in the fourth quarter. That shocked me. In fact, if I was Tyler Herro's dad or his agent, or if I was Tyler Herro, I'd be like, what the heck? Like, I was borderline all-star, 6th man of the year. I'm a 3 shooter, and you've got me on the bench in the fourth quarter. Like, what? Right?
Yeah.
I like fully expected there to be at least a game where he got big shots in the fourth quarter and made them and had a Tyler Herro game of 30 points or more. And that never happened. Not only did it not happen, Miami didn't trust him to try to make that happen. That shocked me. And so that would be one reason I'd be hesitant, but that also could be another reason you'll find more bargains of him because he didn't have that playoff pop. But I still don't get why they didn't play him, because they don't have a whole lot of firepower. They need that guy on the court. So
has Miami done anything this offseason, Gary, to improve their squad? I don't know that they really had any draft picks, and I don't think they've done anything in free agency, right?
And they lost PJ Tucker to Philadelphia, which is a bigger deal than most people realize. Like he did all the dirty work for Milwaukee, and then he did all the dirty work for Miami getting there, so Philadelphia is lucky to have him. I don't know if they've done anything else worthwhile. I know there've been a lot of rumors, but what they could package for KD or whatever, but they haven't done it.
That's a good point on PJ Tucker, because I think I heard maybe on the Ringer that on their NBA show or one of their shows, didn't Joel Embiid quote something about like, we've got to get ourselves a PJ Tucker team?
Yes.
And then they actually signed PJ Tucker.
The GM, Joel Embiid.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually that's a astute point by you that is a bigger deal than most, I guess sports card people. If like you can be a sports card person and a huge NBA knowledgeable fan. So I'm not saying that sports card people don't know that, but if you're just a sports card person, that you might not realize that Tyler Herro's value could actually be negatively affected by that. Just knowing that what drives pricing. And PJ Tucker, for those of you who don't know, is like a defensive specialist. Like he's gonna do all the dirty work, and so that your Tyler Herros of the world can focus on actually what matters most to card collectors, which is knocking down 3-pointers and lighting up the points column. So not to say Tyler Herro won't improve, but it's hard to find tangible evidence other than Tyler Herro improving to say like invest in Tyler Herro. So that's kind of my take, Colin, on that, but thanks for the question. All right, Gary, I'm going to let you go first on this next one. So Steve Cummings wants to know our thoughts on Jamal Murray from a card investing perspective, finally returning from injury. I'm going to let you go first on this one, and then I'll talk about Jamal.
Sure. In fact, that question's come up a lot with friends of mine that are investing and aware of how good he was before his injury, and the battle between him and Donovan Mitchell. I think it was in the bubble, just like he's capable of putting up 30 plus every night in the playoffs, and that's just hard to. You can't replace that. That's why Denver hasn't been able to the last 2 years. But I think he has tremendous upside. I think even though he's been around, his rookies are 2016, right?
Yep.
Still super young. I want to say he's 24, and it feels like he's 30 because we've known him for a long time. But no, I think he's got tremendous upside. But I do feel similar about Jamal as I do with Zion, Kawhi, Damian Lillard. Like, it would help to know where they're at in recovery from injury and how their teams have handled that. I like that Denver didn't rush him back to try to make a playoff run that they couldn't have won a championship anyway. So do I like him? Yes. Do I need more detail about his timeline and his recovery? Yeah. I am interested to see how because now they got rid of some of his support in the backcourt. Monte Morris and Will Barton are gone. But I like it, and we do, because Bones Highland rocks, and Bones is going to play a lot, and he gives the Nuggets the freedom to kind of ease Jamal back into, a full minutes load. Jamal may not have to start the season playing a full, 40 minutes on big nights. I like that Denver has. It seems like they're taking a healthy pace with his return, and you can still find a lot of Jamal rookies raw, like the Optic, first year of Optic, those hollows, or his prisms. I think still people are willing to sell them at a discount because to a lot of people he's still forgotten or injured guy, and they don't realize he has a chance to be, second or third team All NBA if he comes back full force. So I like him.
Yeah, I agree. I think Steve brings up a good one here. We like Jamal. I mean, I will say Jamal RPA, flawless, gold out of 10, patch auto, pretty sick looking patch auto, 2016. Just sold July 9th, so 5 days ago, for $1,400 raw. So that is achievable for some people. A lot of the average subscriber to nooffseason.com sports card investment report premium spends around $1,000 to $1,500 a month on sports cards. And so, that's nothing to shake a stick at. That's a lot of money, but it's very achievable for many of you who maybe don't even come close to spending that much per month, but maybe per year, and don't have an opportunity to buy other athletes' flawless rookie patch autos. Jamal Murray is still a young budding star in the league, and I think that's a investment that could definitely pay off if you want to go high end. But I mean, Gary mentioned some other even more achievable cards, and so I like it. I think he's a hold right now for me on July 14th, but he could definitely change into a buy sooner rather than later. And I think he's going to be more of a buy leading into the season than a sell. So that's my take on Jamal Murray. I think we're all on the same page, and he is 25. So
there you go
on that one, but yeah, he's 25. And then so just to round this out, Toa added something about, I think it was Toa who added, if Jamal and MPJ come back, we get 3 straight MVPs for Jokic.
Yes.
That could definitely happen. And then Steve replies, Jokic with a healthy supporting cast would be super interesting. Yeah, I totally agree.
And Paul, I remember when just Jamal was lighting it up in the playoffs, feeling like I was watching Allen Iverson. Like I didn't realize how talented, how creative, how fun to watch, how cocky. Like Jamal Murray is a dog, man, and he is fun to watch. So he is, the potential is unlimited.
He's number 35 on the report, and it's hard to move him up higher based on some of the guys that we have ahead of him. But I could see him being, moved up, potentially into the 20s. Just maybe in August or September. if we kind of get some more information on him and Denver's situation. But yeah, I think he's a good one. All right, so we're just going to continue to take questions here for the
good ones. Yeah.
next few minutes. We've got some really good ones, and let's go to your hometown. You are a season ticket holder for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Scott Barnes Marketing wants to know your thoughts on Isaac Okoro. So you're probably better to answer that one than I am. Scott has a good amount of his cards, and he believes he can be really good in the future. For me, he's more of a long-term hold, says Scott. So what's your take on Isaac Okoro in the Cavaliers system?
Wait, so you're saying for you, Paul, he's a hold? Yeah, okay, gotcha. Oh, for Scott, he's a hold.
All right. Scott, he's a hold. Yeah, I'm deferring to you on Isaac Okoro 100%.
Yeah, I think so much of the NBA game today, when it comes to wing players and guards, they're always this phrase 3-and-D guy. And Isaac Okoro is an awesome D. Like the Cavs often put him out there as the defensive stopper, sometimes on point guard, sometimes on wings. It doesn't matter. He'll guard anybody and shut them down or at least slow them down. Like he's the guy that they often put on Steph. Not that it actually works, but it helps. So he's a fantastic energy guy. He's a streaky shooter. I won't say that he's a bad shooter, but as a Cavs, like I've seen so many games and have been to games where it's like, oh, he shot another three. Oh, he shot another three. Oh, he shot another three. And they basically are using him interchangeably now with Karis LeVert and Lauri Markkanen and maybe Colin Sexton. So he's going to need to add a consistent 3-point shooter and a consistent mid-range shot. And he still could. He's one of those super hardworking, great attitude. Jim Rat loves the game. He's still young. So I like him. I like him long-term, but there's some real question marks. Can he adapt to shooting in the NBA and be a threat? And will he be on a team that plays him more than 27 minutes a night? Because he just, right, to take that next step, he's got to do those things. I hope he makes it. I just don't see that happening in Cleveland unless there's an injury or a trade. Meaning I hope he makes it to that next level.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, he is. I do see where Scott's coming from here. He is the 5th overall pick in 2020, and he's only 21, 6'5" from Auburn. So he has that draft pedigree. I like to steal that term from Andy Kaysen, who's our football card strategy show host. But he has that draft pedigree that you like to see out of a sports card investment. But I see what you're saying, and it seems like Scott agrees with you that he's got to be more consistent. He's got to play more consistent minutes. But yeah, good. I mean, man, like if you can continue to get him on the cheap,
Right.
like, hey, hold him and get him on the cheap now. Hold him. I mean, maybe he's someone that we need to look at potentially adding to the sports card investment report on a profile. We've got about 300 profiles now across all the sports, not just basketball. But maybe Isaac Okoro is a guy that we add.
Yeah, I wish Okoro was a couple inches taller. I don't think that's going to change. But if he was a few inches taller, we'd be talking him like Grant Williams, Jaden McDaniels, some of these longer wings that can control the game on both ends of the court. I don't think Okoro is getting taller, and that could hurt him. Because I think they want often two. If he's going to play the two, he's got to be able to handle the ball better and shoot better. He can on the fast break. He's fun to watch on the break, but like actually running the offense, no. So
yeah. Well, I think Cleveland does need like a standout off guard to pair with Darius, right? And so like basically like what Atlanta just got for Trey. So if Okoro blossoms into that role, I mean, that would be amazing for Scott. Scott's going to be rich, as he says in the comments. So.
If he's the next DeJounte Murray, we'll take it, Scott.
Yeah. So, all right. Brian from our Facebook group. So to join the Facebook group, go to sportscardstrategy.com, click on the quick link to join the Facebook group. He doesn't show up as Brian on the chat for the live stream, but it's Brian from the Facebook group. He says, any good sleepers from the 2021 rookie class you like for investing? Duarte Şengün and Davion Mitchell type guys. I like how deep Brian is digging here. I think Gary will appreciate this because Gary likes to dig deep as well. My guy is Cam Thomas. He's going to be. I probably will end up getting a T-shirt sport basketball strategy show with Cam Thomas on it, for better or for worse. I'm married to him. But what are your? I'll let you go first again here, Gary, on the sleepers from 2021 rookie class.
Yeah, and Cam was not in my top 5 sleepers of this class until you mentioned him about a month ago, and I did some digging, and I'm like, this guy's awesome. Watch, just go to YouTube and search Cam Thomas highlights, and there's a 10-minute video of all of his, and I know you can put edit clips for anybody, but his statistically, his February and March were off the charts good. He stepped in and scored when Patty Mills was out and when Kyrie was in and out. Like, he's 20 years old? Came out after his freshman year. No, I absolutely love Cam. Like, he is at or near the top for me when it comes to sleepers. I also love Bones Highland, who I already mentioned. I think Trey Mann is a fascinating prospect who can do a lot of things. Any of these guys that can create their own shots and then make them, that's like a premium in the NBA. You can step back threes or you can drive the lane. Guys like the 3 we just mentioned are fantastic. I don't know if he fits in this same class. I think he does. Trey Jones from San Antonio. He might be in the class beforehand. But there's a guy that I think is going to step in where DeJounte is, gone from San Antonio. Trey could step in as the starting point guard and average like 14 to 16 points with 8 assists this next season. He may not score all the points of DeJounte, but he's one of those young guys that most people don't know what he can do when he's got the ball in his hands. So
we might need to add Trey Jones to the Sports Card Investment Report with a profile, because he's a 2020 rookie. You were right. He's not 2021, but he was he's Tyus Jones's brother, and now DeJounte Murray not in San Antonio. That is a big deal for I really like your Trey Jones call. You mentioned him on the Hoops and Cards podcast, really in that same conversation when DeJounte Murray was traded. So I'm glad you brought him back. I think that's a valuable recommendation from Gary there. All right, my sleepers from the class, in addition to Cam Thomas, I agree with you on Bones. I do like Davion Mitchell. I do like that entire class. The way that I've invested in that class primarily has been to buy sealed wax of contenders for the rookie ticket auto possibility and then keep them sealed. I do like Duarte I like a lot of these guys as players, but I just don't see many of them as 100% investable yet, other than Cade, Jalen, Mobley, Giddey. Actually, so I'm gonna give
awesome.
Giddey. I'm gonna go on a couple different takes. One is Giddey. Giddey is my guy. So the answer to my question, other than Cam Thomas and Josh Giddey, are my 2, I would say, sleepers from that class. Even though they're not deep sleepers, they would be the guys that I would invest in, other than your obvious names. Giddey, just with Chet, there's going to be so much hype around Chet for so long before Chet actually has investable cards. And the guy to buy now who has investable cards is Giddey, because Giddey's going to get the collateral benefit from playing with Chet. Not only is Giddey a good player in his own right, and he's only 19 years old, but I mean, he is the Irvin Magic Johnson type of player for who is a perfect fit, I believe, with Chet. So I don't know what's going to happen with SGA, but I do know that good things are going to happen for Giddey. So I would buy Josh Giddey out of that class. Do you agree, Gary, or do you disagree on that?
No, I love Josh Giddey, and I'm glad he played in the summer league. He didn't need to, but apparently it was for chemistry with Chet.
Absolutely.
Chet's just done so well in the summer league. Everybody's talking about him. I'm glad you mentioned SGA. When you say, like, you're not sure what's going to happen with him, like, are you saying not sure if he's going to stay and be like the leader of that team, or if they're going to move him because his contract, like, his timeline might be a little different, even though he's still young?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with that. Like, I see Chet as a valuable commodity, but not necessarily like a face of the franchise. Like, I think that if I were OKC, I would see Chet as the face of the franchise. Giddey is the guy who's going to, like, keep Chet happy and be very, very good and want to keep as a key piece to the puzzle. but SGA as a guy who I'm going to keep around, but probably keep around to increase his value and then maybe deal him for like
it's going to be fascinating.
Evaluating. Like I'm still evaluating. Like Chet and Giddey are my guys, but I'm evaluating SGA to see, is he going to be a franchise cornerstone, or is he going to be a guy that I can package with some other pieces to get a true franchise cornerstone?
Yeah, that's going to be fascinating because they will want, whether they've decided that or not, they will want SGA to feel like he's their man. Because if he gets wind of, he thinks he is, and maybe he is. I don't know what kind of leader he is with those guys. That's probably a big part of it. So, and by the way, I don't know, this doesn't answer the question of 2021, prospects or guys that we like, but you mentioned Davion Mitchell and Scotty Barnes. I'm going to put in a category of two guys that people know their names. I think they both have tremendous upside, and I feel like people could hate on me for saying this, but both of these guys look like they're going to be the 4th, 5th, or 6th options on their team when it comes to shooting. Like, I want to like Davion Mitchell, but De'Aaron Fox is there. They just added Kevin Herter. They have Malik Monk, who they brought in. Like, what are they doing?
And Sabonis is going to get some points. He's going to,
Harrison Barnes, but then in Toronto, a lot of what Scotty Barnes did last season happened. Like, his bigger games were when OG Anunoby was out, or Pascal Siakam was out, or Fred VanVleet was out. Yeah. Not that Barnes isn't amazing. It's just Barnes is one of 5 guys in Toronto who is all-star capable,
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So one more thing I want to throw out there that I'm going to give away on the Basketball Card Strategy Show for free, but it was actually part of the July members only nooffseason.com investment report, sports card opportunity report. So I did some research. PSA has opened up for a short period of time the $18 per card economy submission level. And as a result, what made me think of this is the current question about the 2021 sleepers from Brian. And Cade Cunningham's, don't laugh, but Cade Cunningham's Hoops base paper rookie card sells for 99 cents. And at an $18 PSA submission level, if you can somehow cop what looks to be a Jemmy raw for 99 cents and submit it on an $18 submission level, those Cade PSA 10 base hoops are selling for over $90. So there is a profit margin to be made if you can pick out a 99-cent Cade Cunningham base hoop. So I said, don't laugh. Maybe you've got them laying. Here's the other thing. Maybe you've got them laying around. Maybe you bought some hoops blaster boxes at Walmart or whatever several months ago, and you've got some Cades sitting around, and you're like, I don't know what to do with these. They only sell for 99 cents. Submit 20 of them to PSA because 20 is a minimum. Submit 20 of them to PSA at $18 a pop. And hope you get enough 10s to make a profit. I think that could be a play. And so I'm exploring some of those numbers at nooffseason.com for PSA grading now. And then, all right, so Toa says Lonnie Walker to the Lakers, in his opinion, is an overlooked move. And Gary, I wanted you to maybe comment on this. Toa also said earlier that Colin Sexton is going to take away from Okoro. So feel free to comment on one or both of those from Toa. Toa, thanks for chiming in here.
Yeah, thanks, Toa. I wish they could combine them too. You said combine Colin Sexton and Okoro into one player. Yeah, because Colin Sexton is a bucket. Like, he can score at any place on the court. He can take over a game. His shooting percentages were just ridiculous. Like, nobody saw that from him coming into the league. And not last season, but the previous season, fully healthy, he was on fire as a shooter. Like, I love him, and you're right. He's going to take away minutes and opportunity if they keep him. Right, he's going to take away minutes and opportunities from everybody, from Okoro, from LeVert, maybe from Darius Garland too. I do think the fact that the Cavs are taking a patient approach with Sexton and just re-signing him is giving him the dose of reality that, dude, you're not a max player. Nobody is paying you 20 plus a year. They're just not.
Yeah.
We love you. We're glad you're here. You've meant a lot to the franchise, but we're not paying you 20. And I don't think they're paying him 17. I think they're waiting till his agent comes back and says, all right, we'll take a 2-year, 14 million a year or whatever. And the Cavs say, how about 12? Like, if they keep him, I've actually thought, man, I wish they could trade him. I wish he could have been in that DeJounte Murray deal, just because it would be nice to find who is that number 2, right, to play next to Darius for a long time. But yeah, you're right. And the other guy, the guy the Cavs drafted, Ochai Agbaji, right? He's also a 3 who can shoot a lot, who they might be saying, look, Okoro's not making these threes. We need somebody who will. They drafted another wing. So yeah, the other question was about Lonnie Walker, the 4th. It was funny. That was an early signing by the Lakers. I didn't know what other players they had lined up, or if they were going to try to keep Malik Monk. But when they brought Lonnie in, it looks like he took almost a veteran minimum to sign with them. But now it looks like he could start and play a significant role for the Lakers. Again, LeBron and AD, they need guys who love to shoot the 3 that they can drive and dish to. And Lonnie, I'm just trying to think of anybody else there, that maybe Austin Reeves, like, they've lost some guys this offseason that could have done that for them. And maybe they're banking on Kyrie or KD showing up. I don't know. But right now, yeah, it looks like Lonnie Walker could be a sleeper pick.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I think we need to add him. We need to build a profile for him at no offseason, because he's going into his 3rd year. He was the 18th overall pick in 2018. Oh, no, not 3rd year. This will be his 5th year, right? So he's going into his 5th year, and then he was the 18th overall pick in 2018, and he's gonna wear number 1 for the Lakers and potentially start, and all of those things should increase his value if he actually starts for the Lakers. Definitely different than coming off the bench most of the time. So definitely different profile.
Well, and it'll be fascinating to see, because San Antonio is known for just making their guys fit into the system and not developing certain. Lonnie is explosive. Like, he has the chance to take over a game, and then also the frustration with him. Some nights he doesn't really show up. Like, either his shot's not falling or he's not trying as hard, right? And so when you're a deep team like the Spurs, you can handle that. But it's possible that, like, LeBron's like, look, I can get the best version of Lonnie. Bring him here. I want him. And that might have been part of his pitch to Lonnie, like he did with J.R. Smith in Cleveland, who J.R. Smith was a headache, but he became a great role player and a shooter that LeBron could kick out to, and they went pretty deep in the playoffs. So maybe LeBron's like, I can get the best out of him.
Yeah, I think you was it you who said this? I don't remember, but somebody I respect said, like, the Lakers last year added a bunch of old guys that couldn't shoot, and this year they need to add some young guys that can.
Yes.
Was that you? So I think
I agree with that. I don't know if I said it, but yes.
So I think if Lonnie's that guy, then Toa could really be onto something. I think we need to add him to the site. So that's good call, Toa. Thanks for chiming in with that. And